How's it going, y'all? My name is Aiden Anderson, and this is the Moscow Minutes. I'll be bringing you the latest from the Latah County Commissioner meetings from the week of June 5th, 2022. Some highlights from this week include a budget audit, budget requests, and an Idaho Association of Counties Scholarship Award presentation. Let's get into it. Starting on Monday, the county commissioners went through the annual audit of the county budget for the past fiscal year. A presentation was conducted by Tony Matson of Hayden Ross, an accounting firm based out of Moscow. There were quite a few details covered in this presentation, but the gist of it is that the county received a clean opinion for their financial statements for the past fiscal year, meaning that they are conducting their finances well. If you want to look through the details of the audit itself, a full copy of the document is available on the auditor page of the county website. Once that was done, the commissioners went through a short series of action items. They approved an address change for a retail alcohol beverage license for Vine in Moscow. They approved a professional services contract for a court-appointed counsel for indigent persons. They approved what is called a Second Amendment to the Law Enforcement Protection Contract between Latah County and the City of Kendrick, as Kendrick is requesting that the county provide increased support for the enforcement of their city code. They also signed a memorandum of support for the CBAS and SUDS programs, which deal with substance use and youth reintegration. The commissioners then signed a property lease between Latah County and the City of Moscow for Virgil Phillips Farm Park, which is owned by the City of Moscow, even though it is outside of city limits. This was followed by the approval of a taxpayer's adjustment for a homeowner's exemption, the verbal approval for a newly applied for property tax exemption, which still needs to be signed once the appropriate paperwork is put together, and the filing of the Planning and Building GIS report for May of 2022, which reported over $70,000 in building permits, GIS changes, and other expenses. Following that, the commissioners went into executive session for an attorney-client communication. Most of the rest of the week's meetings were spent examining budget requests, both from county departments and outside organizations. As with last week, the commissioners heard a report from each person or organization seeking a budget request going into next fiscal year. Starting on Monday, they heard from the prosecutor's office, which is looking for a small increase regarding personnel position changes. They heard from the treasurer's office, which is looking for a similarly small increase to account for inflation and increased supply costs, and they also heard from the American Legion Posts 6 and 81, both looking for requests associated with building repair, upkeep, and maintenance. Wednesday began with some outside budget requests. The Moscow Volunteer Fire and Ambulance Company is requesting $30,000 from the county, $10,000 up from last year, with the increase being used towards a possible stipend for their paramedic program. The Spud Hill Seniors Meal Site is requesting $6,000, same as last year, in order to pay cooks and cleaners and provide workable equipment. Finally, One Palouse, formerly known as the Palouse Knowledge Corridor, requested $10,000, the same as last year, as they begin to put some of their economic development events and projects into motion. The commissioners then heard budget requests from other county departments. The Parks Department is requesting funds to continue several park restoration and improvement projects, some of which are partially funded with ARPA money. The District Court requested $50,000 as they continue to digitize their old microfiche records, along with providing for a clerk stipend and additional court fees. The big request of the week, of course, came from the Sheriff's Department, which is looking at costs increases up from last year across the board, including a new alarm system, new vehicles, salary increases, dispatch overtime increases, 911 systems and equipment, and, of course, increased fuel costs. Later, the commissioners heard a taxpayer's adjustment to correct the tax code area number for the parcel and heard the budget requests from the Solid Waste Department, which is looking for increases regarding office support, disposal fees, and of course increased fuel costs. Lastly, the commissioners were privileged to present a $1,000 scholarship award from the Idaho Association of Counties to local Samuel Grant. This is a scholarship that is available to the children of county employees and to the children or grandchildren of county elected officials, and it is provided for by donations from those same employees and officials across the state. Samuel Grant is one of 8 recipients of this award across the entire state of Idaho. So, congratulations, Sam, and best of luck with whatever you do next. And that is the latest from the Latah County Commissioners. As always, we'll have the relevant documents posted with this video, and if you have any questions, let us know. With this week, I would highly recommend you check out the budget audit. If you're numbers-minded, that's a really excellent thing to look through and be involved in. This is Aiden Anderson with the Moscow Minutes. See you next time.